If we have a problem, we try to solve as a modern way, talking. I'm always trying to progress, to make her happy, to improve.
Yeah, I just hope that there's like actual change that happens aside from like whatever words we're hearing today.
What is your problem?
My problem is your faith.
My face?
I know that.
Do you understand how you sound right now?
We gave everything up.
He was in a bad mood. He was treating me like he was being such an ass.
It's always one step forward, two steps back with these two, isn't it? Just as we were all beginning to think that maybe Sarper really had changed, once again, we're now left questioning just how real that is. Just how real he is. Can a leopard really change its spots?
Zaten olur da dönersen Füsun, bundan sonra beni tutana aşk olsun. 3500 bundan sonra. 3500 target.
Now, before we dive into the boy threats, the fight itself, and of course all of the fallout, let's rewind to the start. So, we left the pair in the last episode as Sarper was doing a terrible job of trying to rebuild bridges with Shekinah's family. And when we join them in this episode as Sarper is desperately trying to backtrack and clarify what he means, unfortunately for him, that isn't going to be an easy task.
If we have a problem, we try to solve as a modern way, talking.
Not physically like doing anything.
No, nothing. I mean,
like grabbing things out of each other's hands.
Shariah's of course referring to the multiple physical incidents that have occurred between these two. And while on the show itself they actually show a flashback of one of those incidents, the incident where Sarper snapped at the gym and grabbed a lollipop out of Shekinah's mouth, throwing it on the floor and smashing it, we do of course have other more serious incidents too. Most notably when he tried to snatch her phone out of her hand and accidentally ripped her hair extensions out of her hair. I mean, that is serious, right? It's very worrying. You can understand why Shekinah's sisters are concerned, why they want reassurances that that will never happen again.
I'm overreactive guy, normally. I'm a lot more calm right now.
So you have a little bit of an anger issue?
Yeah, I had it. I mean, but most of the guys have it.
No, that's not true, and that doesn't make it okay.
Now, for as much as Sarper does try to downplay what happened by saying that it's normal, every guy is like that, which they're not, importantly, feeling the heat from all sides, including from Shekinah, he does acknowledge that he was wrong and that he's now changed. But again, words are cheap. Shekinah's sisters aren't prepared to let him off the hook so easily. It's all well and good to say that you've changed, Sarper, but how do we know that it's real, they ask?
I'm always trying to progress, to make her happy, to improve.
But like, how do you make sure Shekinah knows that without just your word? Being a calm man and being a man, period.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
I understand your concerns, he says. Now, keep hold of that thought because, well, this is a real sense of foreshadowing here. Now, the thing is, Shekinah's sisters are clearly unconvinced. If he thought that he could come here and just charm them, win them over in the first meeting, well, he's got another thing coming. And in fact, Ziona tries to give him another warning. If you're going to be together for life, then you're going to face ups and downs, good days and bad. How are you going to deal with that, she asks. Will you be able to keep your composure when you have the trivial day-to-day normal arguments that every couple has? And again, the way that she says this is almost as if she knew what was about to come.
If you guys are going to get married, you're going to go through so many different phases of your life. You have to learn how to grow and respect and love the person that you're with day in and day out.
Now, the meeting ends not with approval, like he was never going to get that on the very first meeting, but rather he gets the best that he could have hoped for. He gets told that they're going to give him a chance. It's up to him, over time, to prove that he is the man, the new man that he says he is. But you don't exactly need to be a body language expert to realise this truce seems a lot more believable from some sisters than it does from others. I mean, Sharia in particular says that she's willing to give him a chance, but is still questioning just how authentic the man really is.
We've got a new start. I don't know with Sarper, Sarper, there hasn't ever been like a real genuine feeling that I get from him. And some of it did feel like very rehearsed.
It's an interesting observation, isn't it? Are these just words? Is this a script that he's rehearsed? Is this all an act? Is this the real Sarper talking here? And what's interesting about this is, despite Shekinah trying to reassure Sarper, trying to tell him that this went well, in actual fact, she reveals privately to the camera crew that her sister's concerns aren't just their concerns. She has the same worries herself, too.
There are things that I have also wondered at one time or another about Sarper. If I can trust him, if he is an honest person, if he will not cheat given his past.
Now, when we join them the next day, back at their apartment as they're preparing to leave Montana, we're treated to something that on first glance appears very trivial, absolutely meaningless. But just watch what happens here. Like this does become quite important later on.
I love this place. You know,
love it?
I'm so compatible.
You're so adaptable.
Oh, my geisha.
Now, ignore the geisha joke, right? Which is a throwback to Sarper putting his foot in it from the last episode. The reason why I'm including this clip is because we see Shekinah serving Sarper a cup of tea, and we see Sarper responding in a way that he thinks is funny, but crucially, there's no thank you. He doesn't acknowledge what Shekinah has done for him. I mean, it's incredibly trivial, but believe it or not, this is basically exactly what they're going to argue about in a second. Now, as the pair pack to go home, once again, Sarper asks Shekinah what he's going to have to do to prove himself to her family. What more do they need to see from me, he asks. I was on my best behaviour yesterday. Like, it's not the first time he's expressing these feelings. It's as if the state of constant uncertainty, constantly having to prove himself, is really beginning to drain on him.
It's just gonna take time.
I understand everything, but we don't have years. We have 90 days to decide what we will do. So I wish it would be faster.
Sarper's in a rush to get everyone's approval. Whether it's Sophie, whether it's Shekinah's family, her friends. Like, the state of limbo that he finds himself in, not knowing whether he's gonna get married or not, whether he's gonna go back to Turkey or live in the States, be single or be married, be approved or not. Like, it seems to be getting him down. He actually admits as much. But it does raise the question, what's his hurry? Why does he feel like he needs this approval immediately? Is it perhaps because he worries his best behaviour, the act that he might be putting on right now, can only last so long? If they don't like me now when I'm on my best behaviour, how are they going to like me when I revert back to type? He might be wondering. And that worry that it might be an act is also playing on Shekinah's mind.
A lot of people can change for a day or a week or however long they need in order to get something, and then they fall back into their old ways. So it's really important for me to see if, it sticks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a very real, undeniable theme here, isn't there? How real, how authentic is this new Sarper? Is the Sarper that we see different to the Sarper behind closed doors? And on that topic, when we join them a week later, we get to hear a first-hand account of what Sarper might really be like. You see, while there's no footage of this, we get to hear secretly recorded audio of a fight between them.
What is your
My problem is your face.
My face?
That I know that.
Do you understand how you sound right now?
Useless.
I just came home from working all day and I cooked you a meal and you just say you say to me and now you're leaving.
This life. Okay, I really hate this life.
Yeah.
And I'm going back to my country.
Now, while clearly this doesn't sound good, while there's a lot of things being said in the heat of the moment, we are also completely lacking context, right? I'm sorry, but I think we all know this isn't an argument about dinner, right? This isn't Ed and Liz Mark II and the whole taco pasta gate incident all over again. The truth is, this goes back to the trivial shit, the day-to-day, the exact sort of thing that Shekinah's sister was warning them about.
I feel myself useless, everything piled up. Because we have an argument, she sent me what I said. I won't let you drive my car. I am hard to live with.
Now, we're going to come back to that text message and the list of gripes. in a second. But did you catch what Sarper said there? I feel useless, he said, and he also went on to say, I feel depressed. Now, that to me sounds like this is a guy without purpose in his life. Remember, he's not allowed to work, he's living in this state of limbo that we know he doesn't like, and I guess he's just sitting around all day or walking the streets, getting more and more frustrated, feeling useless. I think it's those feelings that are now spilling over and causing meaningless trivial fights. Fights that, as we can see from Shekinah's message, that include whether or not he's allowed to drive Shekinah's car, how difficult he finds her to live with, how difficult it is to live with Shekinah's dogs, his apparent fear that at any second she might freak out at waitstaff, or, going back to the tea incident from earlier, not saying please and thank you when she makes him a coffee. Now, again, this sounds like a lot of little niggly things that are beginning to wind each other up. I mean, it's definitely not something to split up over, is it? So, what's the real issue here?
I have made such huge adjustments for him to live here. Like, there's no room in my closet for my clothes. I'm making big adjustments to fit him into my life here. And I just feel like he doesn't even appreciate it.
And that's it. There we have it. This is all about feeling appreciated. But, crucially, that goes both ways. Shekinah tells us that she feels she's done a lot for Sarper. I've given up my closet space, I've taken him out to parties, she says, and look, I'm even packing up my home clinic. I'm moving my business to another location so that we can enjoy our downstairs. I mean, that is a big move for her, right? She deserves some credit for that. But at the same time, Sarper also feels underappreciated. Heck, he's given up his whole life, his family, his friends, his business to be here in the States for her. It's ironic, isn't it? They've both made sacrifices, but do they appreciate each other's sacrifices?
Yeah,
Thanks, babe.
I make sacrifices for this relationship.
No.
Just listen to how Sarper explains this situation when he jumps on a video call with his cousin. Why do you look like that? What's happened? She asks him.
Shekinah'nın kardeşleriyle tanıştım Montana'ya. Örnek davranış gösterdim diyebilirim sana. Ekstra. Böyle bunlar tabii birikti ufak ufak bende. Bana saygısız davrandı.
Sarper feels disrespected. Shekinah feels disrespected. Like, these two really need to learn how to sit down and communicate properly. Communicate in a calm manner, like he promised her sisters. There's a lot of pent-up frustration that stems from both feeling underappreciated. Like, to get past this, they are going to need to learn how to communicate without defaulting to anger. And that, in his own unique way, is exactly what Sarper tells his cousin he's gonna do.
Oturacağım, konuşacağım ha. Yani ben şeyi söyleyeceğim. Hani bu uncertainty'den nefret ediyorum. Ya iyi olsun ya da ayrılalım. Gideyim bu ülkeden ya.
Again, he's bringing up this state of limbo. Like, I really think this is impacting his well-being. This is a guy that he's told us needs stability in his life, otherwise he winds up counting grains of rice. Like, he's just not happy with his new life at present, and if it's not going to be the way he wants it to, well, that threat, the threat to go home, isn't an empty threat. I will do it. I nearly did it, he tells us. Yesterday, I went onto my computer and
I chose the seats, the dates, just one button. And I thought, Sarper, don't be impulsive. Because if you do it, there is no turning back.
Now, it is at least progress that he didn't do anything in anger. He didn't book a ticket and return home in the heat of the moment on impulse. I see that as a sign of his love for Shekinah. He's miserable, he feels useless, he's depressed, but he still clearly believes that what they have is worth fighting for. But, he warns, if it turns out that this isn't love, if all of this fighting does turn out all to be for nothing and Shekinah isn't the one, well then make no mistake, old Sarper will be back with a vengeance.
Zaten olur da dönersen Füsun, bundan sonra beni tutana aşk olsun. 3500 bundan sonra. 3500 target.
Notice how his cousin laughs at that, as if she's almost encouraging that kind of behaviour. It's as if she's relieved. She's relieved to finally see her cousin, her old cousin, the cousin that she knows and loves, is back. He hasn't completely died. And therein lies the problem. Who is the real Sarper? Is it the Sarper that his cousin knows, or is it the Sarper that Shekinah knows? Is his quote-unquote extra model behaviour just an act? Or should Shekinah be taking these boy threats much more seriously? One thing's for sure, this relationship is now at make or break. Their entire future together now rests on their next conversation.
The next conversation that I will do with her has to be, we are okay, but we are changing, or it's over. If I go back to my country, I will burn everything.